Happy Monday, humans. How are you today? Do you think it's weird that I always say Happy Monday? I used to think um, that the goal in life was to always make sure everyone feels happy all the time. There's nothing wrong with being happy, but it's pretty much impossible to be happy all of the time. I actually would pretend to be happy even when I wasn't because I thought that would make my parents happy, my brother and sister happy, my teachers happy. I would hide my sadness and hide my anger just so other people would maybe feel happier. But then I learned as I grew up and as I read and as I experienced life that in order to truly be happy, we have to truly be ourselves. We have to feel all of our feelings. So the reason I say Happy Monday is because I really want you to have a happy Monday. And I want you to get there honestly. I don't want you to have to pretend that you're not sad or not angry or not worried. I want you to realize that you have the strength and the space inside of you to feel every single emotion. And it's perfectly okay if today, on this Monday, you're actually sad. By feeling that sadness and sharing that sadness, you're one step closer to tapping into your happiness, to your joy. And that's my hope for us. Have you ever heard the phrase, sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me? Do you think it's true? I actually think words can do a lot of damage, and that's what I want to talk about today. There's somebody in my life that says horrible things about me almost every day. And a lot of the time, I don't like this person at all. Do you know who it is? It's me. And it often happens when I'm trying to learn something new or I'm trying to do something difficult. I remember hearing this voice when I would do my homework or I would learn something new in class. If I was trying to learn something difficult like fractions or division or the times tables or the periodic table of elements, I would often have this voice inside my head whenever I made a mistake. It would say something like, "Why don't you know this? How could you make this mistake? You must be stupid. There's something wrong with you." And that voice, whether I admit it or not, became what I believed about myself. And today, I'm wondering if you'd be willing to try a mindfulness exercise with me that quieted that voice and replaced it with a new voice, a voice of encouragement, a voice of truth, a voice that if we listen to will remind us of who we really are. Who are you really? I like to think that we are all beautiful children who deserve to be loved. If you think about it, every single one of us started out as a wiggly jiggly little baby. And as a baby, we needed someone to love us and hug us and feed us and clothe us and change us and care for us. And that tender, beautiful part of us is still inside and still worthy of love and respect. Every single person, no matter how old they are, needs that love. And I wanted to tell you a story because it's not just me and it's not just you that's felt this way. Really famous people have felt this way. In fact, somebody I respect a great deal felt this way, and he wrote about it in one of his books. This person is actually the person who got me interested in mindfulness. He said that if everybody in the world would read books by Thich Nhat Hanh, the world would be a more peaceful place. And because he said it, I took his word for it and I started reading books by Thich Nhat Hanh, and he writes about mindfulness. And he actually taught me today's practice in one of his books. But the person who recommended it, you might be able to guess if you've watched any of these other videos, was Martin Luther King Jr. And Martin Luther King Jr., when you think about him, it seems like he's got every reason in the world to feel pretty good about himself. But there was a time when he was speaking at a small church in the countryside where he was not convinced that the work he was doing was going to amount to anything. And he was losing hope. He was losing faith in his ability to actually change the world. And as he was speaking, a little old lady from the back of the church got up and sang a song to remind him of the truth, to remind him of who he really is. And I was thinking maybe today we could sing that song as a reminder of who we really are. And who we really are children who deserve to be loved, who are filled with a desire for peace and joy, and who want to share it. Just like turning on a flashlight in the dark or lighting a candle when the power goes out. This is a song all about tapping into that inner source of light and joy. And so if you're willing, you can sing along. And if you're not willing, you can just listen. I'm going to play this song in the style of one of my favorite musicians, and her name is Elizabeth Cotten. Elizabeth Cotten was born a long time ago in the 1900s, and she was the child of sharecroppers, and she taught herself how to play the guitar. She was left-handed, so she learned how to play the guitar upside down, and she taught herself how to do it, and she invented this very fun way of playing the guitar that sounds like a ragtime piano. It sounds kind of like this. So I'm gonna play the song like Elizabeth Cotten. Here goes. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. I won't let no one blow it out. I'm gonna let it shine. No, I won't let no one blow it out. I'm gonna let it shine. I won't let no one blow it out. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. I hide it under a bushel. No, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, I'll hide it under a bushel. No, I'm gonna let it shine. I hide it under a bushel. No, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere that I may go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere that I may go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere that I may go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. For the poor and hungry folk, I'm gonna let it shine. Well now, for the poor and hungry folk, I'm gonna let it shine. For the poor and hungry folk, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. And that little old lady singing that song to the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was able to remind him of the truth, that deep down inside of him and every one of us is a light that is filled with love and joy and peace and hope and creativity. And it's our job to let that out. Sometimes letting it out looks like crying when we're sad, looks like sharing our frustrations when we're angry, or it looks like dancing in celebration. It can look like anything as long as it's your true feeling, your true emotion, your true thought that you're sharing. It's a light and it's worth shining. So today's mindfulness activity is gonna involve giving ourselves something else to say about ourselves when that little voice creeps in that says bad things about us. And just a reminder, mindfulness is always optional. So if you don't feel like practicing mindfulness today, you don't have to. Or if you feel like doing something else for mindfulness, you're more than welcome to. Mindfulness only works if you want to do it. So for today's activity, we need to think of two phrases. The first phrase is going to be something true and kind and good that we want to remember about ourselves. And then we're going to think that we want that also for everybody else in our lives. So for me, the thing I always remind you of is that you're awesome. But I often forget that about myself. So my thought for myself is going to be this: I am awesome. And my thought for everyone else is going to be, and so is everyone else. Now you can use my words if you want to, or you can make up your own. Your words could be, I deserve to be loved, and so does everyone else. Your words could be, it's okay to make mistakes, and it's okay for other people to make mistakes. There's no wrong answers here, as long as you are choosing words that are true and kind and good. And we're going to do this. When we breathe in, we're going to think those kind thoughts about ourselves. And when we breathe out, we're going to think them about everyone else. And then once we get used to that, I'm going to ask us to imagine that those thoughts that we breathe in are light. And we're going to fill ourselves up with that light. And then as we breathe out, we're going to imagine letting that light shine on everyone else. So if you're ready, find a comfortable place to sit or lie down and check in with your body to see if you're holding on to any tension anywhere. I like to wiggle to get myself settled. And then allowing your eyes to drift down towards the floor, or even to close if you're comfortable closing your eyes. Just breathe naturally. Noticing how it feels to breathe in and breathe out. Now, remembering that phrase about yourself. On the next breath in, let's think that about ourselves. I am awesome. And so is everyone else. Breathing in and breathing out, whatever your phrase is. And if your mind wanders or is distracted by sounds, remember, you're still awesome. And shifting your attention back to that thought, remind yourself that you are awesome. And so is everyone else. Now imagining that your own goodness, your own awesomeness is a light that's filling you up from the inside. See if you can envision it filling up the inside from your toes all the way up to the top of your head until you're so filled with your own goodness that it can't help but come pouring everyone else you meet. And on the next breath, opening your eyes or lifting them up, check in with yourself. How do you feel? Do you feel good about yourself? Are you remembering that you deserve to be loved? That you deserve to be treated with kindness and gentleness and patience? I will remind you that even though I believe everyone is awesome and everyone deserves to be loved, not everyone acts that way. And what I'm not saying is that whatever anyone does to you is okay. That's not the truth. Sometimes we hurt each other, and it's okay to tell even awesome people that we love that they're hurting us. I truly believe that when we hurt each other, it's most often because we've forgotten that we deserve to be loved and that we are awesome. And when we're operating from that place of brokenness and not enough love, it's a very good chance we could hurt other people. So take a moment today and any day to remind yourself of the truth that you deserve to be loved, that you are completely awesome just the way you are, and maybe, just maybe, we'll be more likely to share that love and remind each other that we're all awesome. I hope you remember that, because it's the truth. Look here, look right at me. You, my friend, exactly the way you are and exactly the way you are feeling, are completely awesome. Bye for now.